Hi, welcome to this video. So on March 31st, there is a full moon in Libra happening, and this is the second blue moon this year because January started off with a full moon, ended with a full moon. February did not have a full moon, so it carried over into March 1st, and now we have a full moon again on March 31st. So, you know that old adage, once in a blue moon? I guess it happens more often than we thought, huh? Especially this year. But basically this full moon is conjunct, well, the sun will be conjunct Mercury, which just moved retrograde March 22nd, and the sun just moved into Aries on March 20th, so the sun being in Aries opposite the moon in Libra creates this full moon. And then it's also squaring off to Mars conjunct Saturn in Capricorn. So with Mars conjunct Saturn, this has been an immense amount of pressure being put upon us to perform, basically. The Saturn conjunct Mars has been like this, just like you have to get stuff done, but then like this feeling of restriction around it, which creates this intense amount of pressure being put upon you, whether it's just internally or possibly from external sources that you're feeling this pressure. But like it's one day it feels like you can't do anything, and then the next day you get like a whole bunch of stuff done. So it's kind of like this just this pressure cooker right now of getting stuff done and not getting stuff done. So the days when you don't get stuff done, it's just like, oh, like terrible. But then the days you do get stuff done, you're like, oh, it's like a release of that pressure. So this full moon is bringing up that whole thing because it's going to be forming a T-square to that conjunction between Saturn and Mars in Capricorn. So Mars in Capricorn has that ambition and drive, and Saturn in Capricorn has ambition, but it might lack drive and also create the restrictive feelings. So with this full moon here, this brings how you're feeling about yourself and how you're feeling about your relationships into perspective, along with this sort of sense of needing to get things done and the sense of responsibility that you have. And with Mercury being retrograde conjunct the sun, this is a time for self-reflection and really looking within yourself and your thought processes, and also looking at within about what actions you need to take for yourself so that you can accomplish the things that you are driven to accomplish. With the moon in Libra, this actually could be somewhat helpful for how you're feeling about your relationships. It might actually bring your relationships more into focus. And so it could be a time of kind of nurturing your relationships amongst all this stuff that has been happening, this sense of responsibility and all this stuff, this internal work that is being done on the levels that you're doing it. Somewhat consciously sometimes, somewhat subconsciously at others, but ultimately it's just a time of really looking at yourself and taking responsibility, because Mars rules Aries and it's conjunct Saturn. This is a very strong time for taking responsibility for yourself and this desire or need to be more responsible for yourself and owning what is yours and really just becoming more self-sufficient and independent, and all this stuff is really being brought into the forefront right now. And then Pluto at 21 degrees of Capricorn is sextile Jupiter at 22 degrees of Scorpio, and this sextile will be exact April 14th. So this has been, a little dance that's been happening for a while. This does bring up a lot of stuff about death, sex, and rebirth, this whole transformative energy. And there have been a lot more themes around death and stuff happening, and also, of course, there has been like some energies around, you know, guns and all this stuff too, violence and things being brought forward in a more strong way, people like standing up against violence and stuff like that. So that could be a part of that theme as well, because it is somewhat of a taboo subject. And you know, Pluto and Scorpio kind of, I think they kind of have like a little bit of a, you know, that kind of vibe going on with the guns anyways. But that could also be kind of a Mars and Aries thing too. And Mars conjunct Saturn could also be a part of that because people are wanting to restrict him. So there's like that theme going on. But then also Pluto sextile Jupiter is very much about the transformations that are happening in a very public way. And more people are waking up, likely. More people are becoming aware of what has been hidden. And it's just becoming very expansive at this time. Like the awakening is going to be more in your face. And more occult symbols, more occult type things coming to light, and you know, all kinds of crazy revelations and whatnot, and just this whole like sense of becoming aware of what has been hidden, and about authority figures, and about religion possibly. So, you know, it's been happening kind of anyway, but you know, with Jupiter being in Scorpio now, sextiling Pluto, it's like gonna be even more noticeable. And then Venus conjuncts Uranus March 28th, and then moves into Taurus on March 30th. So with Venus conjunct Uranus, it's like this sense of freedom and aliveness within your relationships, a very sudden feeling of a spark igniting, and you could even meet new people or friends at this time as well, and you will be drawn to more unique things, eccentric things, fringe things, fringe information, and there will be more of a sense of community likely, and connecting with each other at a deeper level, and just a lot of awareness being brought forward around love, and just kind of a more of a collective sort of sense of brotherhood, like this sense of community and unity amongst people. And it's actually just going to be more harmonious than normal, and a bit more fun and alive and fresh. And then when Venus moves into Taurus, this actually brings a much more grounded energy to your relationships. Of course, the likelihood to spend money could be increased because Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus does love beautiful things, and it likes quality things. So, and it rules money, of course. So this could happen where you're indulging a bit more, maybe in food, maybe in buying things. So, you know, if you don't have the funds to back it up, you might want to watch out for that. Then again, Venus and Taurus can also create money-making opportunities as well, because just as easily it spends, it also is good at making money to back up its spending. And this is also a time to focus on what it is you value, what it is you cherish, what it is that you're grateful for, and your relationships are going to feel more rich and deep and loyal, and you're just going to feel more sensuous and sensual, and really enjoy the physical aspects of life, and be more in your body, and you might even express beauty in a more physical way, whether it is making yourself look more beautiful, or just enjoying your physical body more, dancing more, doing more yoga, enjoying nature, because Taurus does enjoy the beauty of nature. Of course, flowers are starting to bloom and stuff like that, so that's kind of a nice little, you know, sign of Taurus, I think, is the kind of the flowers coming to, you know, into bloom and all that stuff. So, yep, well, I think that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back soon with the new moon video in Aries. All right, have an awesome time. Bye.